Hey guys, I'm Ryan, and this is a clip from my new course, Pillars of Composition. If you want to see more, check out the full course at Master the Score. The other idea of how to use these is to think about chords that come from outside your key, or we'll say that are not diatonic to the main world we're living in, if that's a major world or if that's a minor world. Chords that are not diatonic, that are major chords, sound more major. They sound brighter and happier. And chords that are not part of your diatonic set, that are minor or even diminished, will sound even darker than just a typical minor chord. For example, if we are in C major and we go to the 6th chord, A minor, that's fine. That's kind of sad feeling. But what if instead we went to that 4 minor? Here's to the 6, to the 4 minor. Because that 4 minor doesn't belong, isn't really part of C major, it has a sadder, more minor sound. We can get the same thing. Let's say we go to, we have 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, perfectly happy, good chord. What if instead we went to flat 3? That has this very heroic lift. That E flat feels very major. It feels like a powerful, confident chord. That's the flat 3. So those are the kind of the two ways to think about these as you're writing. You can think about what's the function, and you can think about, am I going for a brighter, more major or more minor sound versus what I have? So you'll find this in Lord of the Rings all the time, for example, that you'll have something in minor. Let's say we have something in E minor. That'll be fine. And just hold this chord out. You have this. If we look through our modes, so that would be a 1. We'll say we're in E minor here, and that's a 1 minor chord. Perfectly fine, perfectly expected. We can look through and say, well, what are some other minor chords that are actually available to us? 3 minor, if we borrowed from the Lydian mode instead of the Aeolian mode, we could get 5 minor, would be pretty standard actually. Let's see, what else? What about flat 3 minor 7 coming from the Locrian mode? So we'll go to that, and the chord will lay that down. That will be our voice singing, I guess. So now you can just rock back and forth between them. So now we have that dark fantasy, mysterious sound, which is working because that minor chord is coming from not a diatonic E minor place. We're not expecting that G minor chord, so it's more minor. But the thing is that you shouldn't be overwhelmed. It's not like, now you can use any chord ever. Although that's true, you can use any chord ever. You've expanded your vocabulary now. So now we have some more choices. So an exercise I highly, highly, highly recommend is that rather than have me just kind of spoon feed you these are the available chords, is to go through these lists, work through the modes on your own, and figure out what are all the different kinds of 1 chords I have. I could have a 1 major 7, I could have a 1 minor 7, same thing here, same thing here. First 4 modes, we don't have that much interesting. I could have a 1 dominant 7, again, a 1 minor 7, or a 1 diminished 7. Locrian, you know how we feel about Locrian. So really, there's 4 maybe usable 1 chords. Then we look at the 2 chords. You could have a 2 minor 7, you could have a flat 2 major 7, you could have a 2 dominant 7, and a 2 diminished 7. Build yourself a dictionary or kind of a toolbox of chords. It's not that you can have every single possible kind of 2 chord. We didn't have a flat 2 diminished 7. That wasn't one of our colors. And we didn't even have a flat 2 minor 7. So the possibilities are not necessarily endless within this kind of modal interchange world. And I think that's really useful. It keeps you from being too overwhelmed by there being too many things.